Isildur was wrong. More than that, he was a fool, a buffoon, an idiot, a grade A moron. He made millions and blew it all in just a few days. How did he do it? What can you learn from it? And how can you improve your poker based on it? I'll talk to you about that in a second. My name's Nick from Transform My Poker. And if you don't know who Isildur was, well, he's an online poker legend who a few years ago came from nowhere on full tilt and built up a bankroll of millions of dollars playing amazingly aggressive and really high level heads up no limit poker. But it all went wrong. He lost it all playing to some of the best in the world, partly because he started playing too many of them at one time, and partly because he started playing Omaha. So in one crazy session, he was playing Phil Ivey, Patrick Antonius, and Cole South all at the same time, 3 of the best 10 heads up no limit players in the world at that time, and he was taking them all on at once. That is not good for your bankroll, kids. And then he lost in the biggest publicly recorded losing session in online poker. He lost $4.2 million to Brian Hastings, one of the best Omaha players in the world, when Isildur was predominantly a Hold'em player. Again, not a good idea. Another safety tip is after you've lost the first million, you might want to think about whether you want to put 2 or 3 more million into the game. That's just a tip if you're ever in that situation. Now, Isildur turned out to be a player called Victor Blom, and Victor Blom has gone on to prove himself as one of the better players in the world. But back then, he made the biggest error you can make in poker, and you might be making it right now. And that is an error of not game selecting, not opponent selecting. It is the first thing you must get right in poker, and Isildur got it completely wrong. He was playing the best in the world at their best games in the world, sometimes more than one of them at once. He had no shot to win. Now, I'm not suggesting you're doing that in your own games, but you might well be doing it on a lower scale because it's something that's easy to stop thinking about. However, as I talk to you about it, I want you to challenge yourself and ask yourself, am I really playing in the right games? Am I playing the right type of games? Am I getting as much of an edge as I could get in my poker? And it's so important because if you have no edge over your opponents, there's no way to win in poker. I'll say that again. If you have no edge over your opponents, there's no way to win in poker. Yes, you can win on any given night in any given game, but that's the short term. And I know if you're watching this video, you want poker success over the medium and longer term. So you must have an edge. Otherwise, it's just a game of flipping over cards, and we know it's a skill game and it's about making better decisions than your opponents. So ask yourself, do I have that edge in the games I'm playing in? And this is true on a big picture sense. So are you playing in the right games? Are you playing in a format of poker that suits your game? Should you actually make a change? Should you specialize? A few years ago, I went from playing Hold'em cash to playing Omaha cash because I preferred Omaha, but also because there was a much bigger opportunity to make money in Omaha because the Hold'em games have got much tougher. So should you make a switch? Should you go from playing all different types of games to playing one type of game, becoming much better in it? What do you need to do to increase your edge in poker? And then on a smaller picture level, are you game selecting session by session? Now, this is easier if you're a cash game player because if you find yourself at a bad table, you can quit that table and find another one. But it's very important that you do that and you put it into practice and don't get lazy with it. Always ask yourself, do I have an edge over these players in the table that you're playing at? In tournaments, it's a bit tougher, but you want to ask yourself, are the events I'm buying into right for me? Do they have the biggest edge possible? Should I drop down a limit, swallow my pride and have a bigger edge? Should I go to a different card room and stuff like that? If you're playing at a table where you have good players to your immediate left, you might need to change your style a bit and kind of practice opponent selection that way and only go after the weaker players at your table. There's lots of things you can do, but the most important thing you can do is constantly ask the question, do I have a big edge? And if not, how do I get one? Because that's how you win at poker in the medium and long term and get those consistent results that I know you want. Do not be like Isildur and kind of not worry about game selection and just plow on. Really think about it and really ask yourself, have I got that edge? All right, if you'd like to increase your edge in a big way, then click this link on screen and head over to my website, transformmypoker.com, where you can sign up right now for a completely free set of advanced training videos to help you always play with that edge. If you'd like this YouTube video, then give it a like on YouTube and hit subscribe so you get notified about when these videos come out so you can get a steady stream of free poker advice. I've really enjoyed making this one for you and I hope to see you in another one. Until then, run good because that's the hard part.